Yo, what's good, Dub Nation? Listen, I need every single one of you to stop right now. Drop everything. Because what just leaked to TMZ Sports 45 minutes ago, a 90-second cell phone video from a nightclub in downtown San Francisco last night, is going to be the most embarrassing, most viral, most career-threatening off-court incident of Brandin Podziemski's young NBA career. And I mean it. The video shows Brandin Podziemski, the 22-year-old Warriors starting shooting guard, in what appears to be a physical altercation at a nightclub called the Delta Room at approximately 1:34 a.m. this morning. In the video, Podziemski is clearly seen, with his tattoos, his hoop earrings, his signature blonde hair, physically shoving another patron who reportedly said something derogatory to Podziemski's girlfriend. The other patron falls backward, appears to strike his head on a bar stool, and is on the ground bleeding. Then multiple bouncers rush in. Podziemski is pulled out of the situation, and this is where it gets worse. San Francisco Police Department showed up to the scene minutes later. Podziemski was not arrested, but he was reportedly questioned as a person of interest. And now the entire NBA world is trying to figure out what this means for his career, his contract, and his future with the Warriors. Let me walk you through every single detail, because this is going to be the biggest story on the entire NBA news cycle for the next 48 hours. Real quick, like button pushes this to every Warriors fan. Smash it, 1 second, context. Brandin Podziemski is 22 years old in his third NBA season and just signed a rookie-scale extension worth $80 million over 4 years this July. He is the Warriors' starting shooting guard, one of the most beloved young players in the Bay Area, and the future of the franchise alongside Steph Curry. He is famously, until today, a clean player. No off-court incidents, no social media drama, no controversies. He's the kind of player parents point to when they tell their kids how to be a professional, and that reputation just shattered at 1:34 a.m. this morning in a San Francisco nightclub. The video hit TMZ Sports at 3:15 p.m. this afternoon. Here's what you see in the 90 seconds. The setting is the Delta Room, a well-known San Francisco nightclub popular with young professionals and celebrities. Podziemski is at the bar with his girlfriend Ava. They're both drinking. He's wearing a plain white t-shirt and jeans. She's wearing a black dress. They're clearly on a normal Friday night out. Then a man, appears to be in his late 20s, wearing a red flannel shirt, approaches. He appears to say something to Ava. She looks uncomfortable. Podziemski turns around. Words are exchanged between Podziemski and the red flannel man. The exchange escalates fast. And then, in real time on camera, Podziemski pushes the man hard. The man goes backward. His head hits the edge of a bar stool. He goes down. He's on the floor, blood on his forehead. Podziemski takes a step back. His girlfriend covers her mouth. And within 5 seconds, 3 bouncers are on the scene. They physically escort Podziemski out of the nightclub. The video ends with a shot of the man on the floor, still bleeding, other patrons crowding around him, and Dub Nation. That is the video. That is what the entire NBA is watching right now. And within an hour of the TMZ upload, the video has 4.2 million views on Twitter. That number is going to be 15 million by tomorrow morning. The initial reporting was brutal. TMZ Sports posted the video with the headline, "Warriors guard Podziemski in nightclub fight. Victim bleeding on floor." Bleacher Report posted it. ESPN posted it. Every major outlet had it up within an hour. And by 4 p.m., the SFPD had confirmed publicly that they had responded to an incident at the Delta Room and spoken with a Golden State Warriors player as a person of interest, though no arrests were made at the scene. The victim's name has not been publicly released. But according to reporting from Mark Stein, the situation is more complicated than the video makes it look. Because the victim, according to eyewitness accounts, had reportedly made lewd, threatening comments to Ava after she declined to give him her phone number. The witnesses say the victim called Ava a gold-digging expletive. That is what caused Podziemski to turn around and confront him. That is the context that the 90-second video does not show, because the video starts at the confrontation, not at the provocation. So what we have is a situation where a 22-year-old NBA star pushed a man who was harassing his girlfriend, and the man got hurt because of how he fell, which is either, depending on your perspective, professional athlete conduct violation or heroic boyfriend defending his girlfriend. And the entire NBA is going to spend the next week debating which one it is. The Warriors organization scheduled an emergency press conference for 5:30 p.m., and that is where things got real. because Steve Kerr and Joe Lacob both showed up, which, after the Draymond situation and Adam Silver's team disavowal fine, signals that the organization is being very careful about how they handle this. Steve Kerr took the microphone first. "Good afternoon. I want to address the video circulating on social media of Brandin Podziemski this afternoon. First, Brandin has spoken with me personally within the last 2 hours. He has explained his version of events. He has explained the context. He has apologized privately to me and to the organization for putting the Warriors in this position. He is deeply remorseful, and I want to say publicly, I believe Brandon's account of what happened. I believe he was defending his girlfriend from harassment. I believe the physical push was an emotional reaction to an unacceptable comment. That said, I also want to make clear that public violence in any form from a professional NBA athlete is not acceptable. Brandin knows this. He accepts it, and we will be handling this internally in a way that reflects both the seriousness of the incident and the context of what actually happened. That is a delicate balance, and we intend to strike it fairly." That was a measured, mature response. Steve Kerr just did the difficult thing. He acknowledged the seriousness of the incident while providing context. That's the kind of leadership that keeps young players from spiraling. Because he didn't publicly throw Brandin under the bus, but he also didn't excuse the behavior. That's the balance. Then Joe Lacob spoke, and Lacob's approach was more direct. "I want to add to what Steve said. Brandin Podziemski is one of the most important young players in our organization. We just committed $80 million to him this July, and I want the fan base to understand one incident does not define a person. One video clip does not tell the whole story. Brandin is a 22-year-old kid who is going to make mistakes. What matters is how he responds to those mistakes. And the Brandin Podziemski I know, the Brandin who plays 82 games with maximum effort, who studies film at midnight, who mentors our younger players, that Brandin is going to learn from this. He's going to apologize publicly at the appropriate time. He's going to make amends with the man who was injured, and he's going to come back stronger." So to Dub Nation and to the NBA world, I ask you for patience. This is an ongoing situation. There are people involved. There are legal considerations. But at the end of this, I believe Brandin will emerge as a more mature, more responsible, more professional NBA player. That's my faith in him, and I ask the fans to share that faith. Bro, Lacob just publicly defended Brandin while acknowledging the incident. That is a huge vote of confidence for a young player facing his first major public scandal. And it's going to matter in how Brandin handles the next few days, because he knows his owner is publicly in his corner. That gives him space to apologize sincerely without fear of being cut. Then, and this is the shocking part, Brandin Podziemski himself showed up at the press conference. Nobody expected it. He walked in wearing a suit, looking devastated, sat down at the podium, and spoke directly to the cameras. I want to speak briefly because I owe Dub Nation and the NBA world an explanation and an apology. Last night, my girlfriend Ava was verbally harassed by a man at the Delta room. He said things to her that I will not repeat, but that were disgusting and threatening. In the moment, in the emotion of hearing my girlfriend be spoken to that way, I did something I regret. I physically pushed him. I did not intend for him to hit his head. I did not intend for him to be injured, but I take full responsibility for the outcome of my actions. Regardless of how he provoked me, I am a 22-year-old professional NBA player. I have a responsibility to handle situations better than I did last night, and I failed that responsibility. I want to publicly apologize to the man who was injured. I want to apologize to his family. I want to apologize to my teammates, my coaches, my organization, and to Dub Nation for putting them all in the position of having to answer for my behavior. I have contacted the man's family personally through his lawyer, and I will be making full financial restitution for his medical bills and pain and suffering. I have also communicated with SFPD my full cooperation with any investigation. Whatever consequences come from this, I accept them because I earned them. And to my parents watching in Wisconsin, I am so sorry. I know you raised me better, and I am going to spend the rest of my career proving that I can be better. Thank you. Man, y'all, that was one of the most genuine, most mature apologies I have ever seen from a young athlete, because Brandin didn't make excuses. He didn't blame the victim. He didn't hide behind lawyers. He walked in, took responsibility, apologized publicly, committed to financial restitution, and thanked his parents. That is exactly how a young athlete recovers from a scandal, and within an hour of that apology, the public sentiment on Twitter completely shifted from "cut this thug" to "kid made a mistake, respect the apology." That is the power of accountability. Let me give you my analysis, Dub Nation. Because this situation was handled almost perfectly by the Warriors organization from top to bottom. Steve Kerr contextualized, Joe Lacob publicly supported, Brandin apologized sincerely with concrete restitution actions. That is a masterclass in crisis management, and Brandin's career is going to survive this because the response was correct at every level. Here's what I think is coming. The NBA league office is going to review the video. There will probably be a small fine, $25,000 to $50,000, for conduct detrimental to the league. There will probably not be a suspension because of the provocation context. The civil case with the victim will settle out of court in the next 2 to 3 weeks. Brandin will make a public appearance at a youth boxing gym or an anti-harassment campaign in the next month as PR rehabilitation. And by the time the regular season starts on October 22nd, this whole thing will be a footnote in Brandin's story. Here's what worries me. Ava, Brandin's girlfriend, is now a public figure whether she wants to be or not. Every gossip site is going to try to interview her. Her social media is going to explode, and her relationship with Brandin is going to be under a microscope. That's a lot for a young woman to handle. I hope Brandin protects her privacy going forward. Dub Nation, I need your energy in the comments. Was Brandin justified in pushing the harasser? Should there be an NBA suspension? Did the Warriors handle this well? And the biggest question, should Ava's identity be kept out of the public eye? Drop it below. Smash that like, subscribe, ring that bell, strengthen numbers. We protect our own forever.